What's up, guys? So today I'm going to be making a quick video talking about the 6 best BMX brands in 2021. Now I realize it's 2020, but the reason for this video is to compare the bike brands that have already released their 2021 complete bike lines and see which ones are the best. Now, when I'm doing this, I'm looking mostly into their price to quality ratio to determine if the bikes are overpriced and essentially if they're ripping you off. So I'm going to talk about my 6 favorite. Now, I would say that they're in no particular order, but I'm going to put them in order, and that way you can go down in the comments and argue with me and let me know which order you think is best. So with that being said, guys, let's hop into the video. If you like stuff like this though, don't forget to subscribe and get notified when I post more content. Alright, so number 6, I put Fit. And it's not necessarily because they're a bad brand, but it's mostly because their 2021 line was super limited, if that makes any sense. There's a couple good things and a handful of bad things about it. So some of the good things is I love that they have specific options for dirt, street, and park. That's really cool, and only a handful of brands are doing that for their 2021 bike line. The other thing, most bikes are under $500. $500 to me is a price point that I think is really important to put on beginner level bikes. The reason is that most parents will spend, around $500 for birthday or for Christmas, whatever it is. So that's good. And the last thing is that the bikes can be fitted with aftermarket parts really easily. So you don't, like if you get a Walmart bike, a really low end bike, and it's got one piece cranks, you're gonna have a really hard time changing out the bottom bracket to put new cranks on. There's a handful of examples like that, but all of Fit's line is easily replaced with some better quality parts. So it's possible, get a low end bike from them and just upgrade it as you go. But now some of the bad things, there are no high level options. Everything really caps out at, $500 and beginner level quality. The reason is most of them have single wall rims and most of them have tri-moly frame. The only exception there is the Fit Trail, which has one double wall rim in the back, and that's the most important place to put it. Single wall rims bend over time as you spin, or when you start to learn tail whips, you're going to smack it on the ground and it's going to turn into a taco. Nobody likes tacos. I mean, everybody likes tacos, but nobody likes taco wheels. The last thing is I do think they're a little overpriced just for the quality you get. So I know I talked about $500 right here being a good price, and it is. But you can find bikes with full chromoly, double wall rims for, just a little bit more than those Fit bikes. With that being said, Fit is a really good brand. They do a lot for the sport, and they have absolutely killer aftermarket parts. I just don't think their 2021 line was that good. But let me know in the comments and we'll argue. Alrighty, so number 5, I'm gonna have to go with Fly. I don't know why I still have my marker. Fly, I love Fly. I just got done reviewing their 2021 line and I was really impressed with the quality and the colors. They keep it kind of sleek with like flat black and like glossy red, stuff like that. But there's always like a black option for those people that like it plain. But a couple of my favorite things about them is they have really high quality options. And this is unique because most brands maybe have one. So Fit doesn't have any. Kink has the Kink Williams. Sunday has the Soundwave Complete. We the People has the Battleship. So everyone has at least one. But the thing with Fly is like more than half their line is those high quality bikes. And something that I see a lot for like high-end dirt riders, they're going to have a hard time finding a bike that's specific for dirt riding and high quality. So like Fit has the Fit Trail, but if you're doing decent sized jumps, that bike's going to fall apart. Whereas Fly has some that are built perfectly for trails with really good quality. So that's another thing that I really like about them. The other thing is that they are completes for skilled riders. And these are pretty hard to find. Like I mentioned, nobody's really doing high-end completes. The other thing is they have a lot of variations within their completes. So like they have a free coaster version, and the free coaster version comes with 4-piece bars, free coaster, and 4 pegs, depending on the bike you look at, with where the cassette version has 2 pegs, 2-piece bars, and a cassette. So that's really unique and really cool that they give you that option. The last thing is that they put on there that you can choose whether you want left-hand drive or right-hand drive. And maybe Sunday I've seen them do this, but anybody else, I've never seen that before. And so that's good because, you know, if you grind on the right side, you're going to want to have left-hand drive and vice versa, okay? Now, some things I don't really like about it is that they're super expensive. So I think their most expensive bike is like right around 800, 750, 650, and so on. And this is a lot to spend on a complete bike, especially if you don't have a good job or your parents are kind of struggling, right? That's a lot of money. So you get what you pay for. Keep that in mind. Okay, the second thing is that the beginner options absolutely suck. I just got done reviewing the Fly Electron and the Fly Neutron, and those are kind of their lower end bikes. One of them has partial chromoly in the frame, and the other one has like one chromoly down tube, I think. And they're all the cheapest one's $450, the second cheapest one's $550. And look, for $450, you can get a Kink whip, full chromoly, double wall rims, at a good price, right? Fly's bikes are similar quality to like Kink Whip, Kink Gap, but $100 more. And I'm going to say this is probably because they're a smaller company, so it's a lot harder for them to buy in bulk and get those discounts that those other companies are getting. But maybe they should just stick to the high-end bikes. I don't know. I'm not like their marketing manager or anything like that. And I hope they sell lots of bikes. The only thing is, for people who like watch my reviews and want to know the best things about BMX, they are a little overpriced. If you love Fly, it's a good brand, but keep that in mind when you're getting them. All right. Now the last thing is that they are kind of hard to find in stock. I'm 95% sure that they're a brand from Spain. And while they do, like I've seen the 2020 line in the US, they run out of stock quick, and the 2021 line is out somewhere. I've found the bikes, I've found, other stores having them, but I haven't seen anything in the US or even the UK yet. So either they sold out really quick or they're not completely launched yet. I have no idea. But that's Fly. Like I said, high quality parts, high quality bikes, just not really designed for beginners or new riders. All right, so coming in at number 4, we have Sunday. Now, I really like Sunday. I like the Sunday Odyssey combo that comes with a lot of those mid-level completes. But the coolest thing is that they have a wide range of options. What I mean by that is that they have like a $350 beginner bike and a $1,200 pro level bike, and then everything in between. It's really cool to see that a company is able to do that. And I do think Sunday is probably one of the biggest in making completes because they have so many color options, top tube size options, and skill level options. That's super important because if you want to progress with the sport, you need to get a bike that is perfect for you. Sunday gives you an option for everything, and on those recommendations, a lot of times I do find a Sunday that's perfect and recommend it. So they have park options. Now this is really cool because just like Fit, or being able to get a bike designed for what you like to ride is going to make it so much more fun. Riding a bike that's designed for park is going to be a lot easier to learn whips on, spins on, and so overall you'll have a much better time at the park, and this is important. Now they also have mid-level street options, and when I say that, what comes to mind is the Sunday X. which has two versions. There's the Eric Elstrand version and the Julian Ortega version. They kind of vary between like top tube size, colors, free coaster, no free coaster, and things like that. Another thing is that they have really good customer service. I've heard a lot of stories about, friends with Sunday parts, something breaks, and they just hit up customer service and they say, hey, this is what happened. It's been so long, I don't have the receipt. They're like, oh yeah, it's fine. Like, we got you. And that's unheard of, right? Most companies kill their warranty after like 6 months. If a bike mechanic isn't the only one working on it, they're going to kill your warranty, and they just make it really hard to get your money back. But that's how much Sunday believes in their products. They'll do anything, to keep the customer happy, and that's really cool. Now, I'm not saying that if you throw your bike off a building, you break it, like, I'm not saying they're going to warranty it. I don't know. I don't work for them, but those are just some things I've heard. So some things I don't really like about it is that the colors are connected to the top tube size. And what I mean by that is if you want, like, let's say a Sunday primer in 20.75 inch top tube, there's a color associated with that. And I think they did this to cut down on how many bikes they're manufacturing. So like, let's say the blue is associated with this top tube. The red is associated to this top tube. And that's how they're doing it, instead of making like 20.25 red, blue, green, and having to stock all those. It's 20.5 blue, 20.5 red. Did I say that twice? 20.25 blue, 20.5 red. And that's how they can manage their stock, especially with the pandemic going on. I know bike companies are selling out, but they're also hurting because factories being closed, things like that. So that's one thing, though. It's going to be kind of hard because you kind of want to have the right top tube size, but you also want to have the color you want. You can always upgrade the parts, change it to a new part with a color that you like. That's always a possibility. And the last thing is that some bikes do seem just a little overpriced. For example, like the Sunday primer, the quality that's associated with it, I feel like it's not worth $369 like it's priced at. But to each its own. It's a really good company, and maybe that's how they pay for their excellent customer service. But that's Sunday. Really good bikes, really good quality, but lots of variation. And that's super important for getting what's right for you. All right, so number 3, we have We the People, abbreviated WTP. I'm not sure what We the People actually means. All I know is that's the bike brand name, and they have some pretty good bikes. So the first thing that I like about it is they have high-level street and park options. This is really important because, like, for example, the Fit line only has beginner park and street options, as do most bike companies. They don't really kick it up into the high level like We the People does, like We the People Versus and the We the People Battleship. Super high quality bikes for park and street. So We the People also includes aftermarket Salt and E-Claw parts, which are, they're parts that you would buy as upgrades. Now, Salt's kind of a lower end company, but they're very affordable and they're better quality than most stock parts. Same with E-Claw. E-Claw, though, they're not a lower end company. They build really good parts, and We the People is blessed to have them on the bikes. The other thing is there's lots of options. Now, to a certain extent, this might get too overwhelming if you're not really sure which option's right for you. And what I mean by that is some people spend so much time just looking and looking and looking, and by that point, they're like, you know what? I don't know what to do. They've looked at so many different bikes, they have a really hard time picking. So if you just go over and you say, hey, I love We the People, you start looking at all their bikes, you might get a little confused. That's the downside of having so many options, but there's an upside because you can literally pick a bike that is perfect for you. So that's really important. The other thing is most of these bikes are expensive, kind of similar to Fly, but not that extreme. A lot of the bikes are on the higher end of things and cost a little more than most parents are going to spend on a bike. If you can convince your mom, your dad, whoever to buy you a We the People, though, you're going to be very happy with it because it is great If you can convince your parents, your mom, your dad, whatever, if you can convince them to buy you a We the People though, you are going to be very happy with it because it's got great quality. That's really it though. That's We the People. I think they have a great line of bikes with really good parts. And they're helping grow BMX by providing the perfect bike for someone like you. Look in the description because I'm going to put my favorite bike from each line and talk a little bit about why. So if you're curious about my favorite We the People, go down, check that out. All right, so for number 2, I picked Colt. And here's why. If it wasn't for Colt's amazing price to quality ratio, they would be down with Fit probably. Because their line is so limited. I mean, in the 20-inch world, it essentially has the Gateway, the Access, the Control, and the Devotion. And that's only 4 bikes. Now, that is a pro though, because contrary to We the People, the line is so simple, you're not going to have trouble getting lost researching which bike is for you. It's real clear cut, which bike's mid-level, which bike's beginner. So that price to quality ratio, again, is so important to me because to me it tells me which brands are kind of, ripping you off versus which brands are just taking what they need to keep growing, keep supporting the sport, but not being excessive. So for example, last year, the Colt Devotion was definitely one of my favorites. It was like $500, full chromoly, double wall rims. It was like a solid mid-level to even a high-level bike. And again, for $500. Whereas this year, like Fit has some bikes that aren't even full chromoly for $579. And I don't know, man. To me, it feels like they're charging too much. Again, I'm not their marketing manager, so who am I to say? But that's why Colt is definitely number 2, because they provide such good value on the bikes, and that's crucial for getting the right bike. Now, it has limited colors. So that's one of the bad things about it being a really simple line, is because really you can choose from black, raw, white on some, and gray on some. And that's it, right? No crazy dark translucent teal, matte red fire, I don't know. None of that. Just real simple, to the point. So if you love those exotic colors, you're going to have a hard time with a Colt. You might be able to get those aftermarket parts later, but this costs money. The other thing is there is no high-level option. The Devotion is borderline high-level, but when I classify something high-level, I really look into how many aftermarket parts it has. So like We the People's Salt and Claw parts, those are what make those bikes high-level. And Colt doesn't really have anything like that. So most people buying completes are at that mid-level or beginner level, so this isn't really that big of an issue. The last thing, they're sold out almost everywhere. And this is crazy to me because so many bike shops, online, in person, they're all sold out. Now it is, November's coming up, which means Christmas is coming up, which means Black Friday is coming up, which means I'm 99% sure all these companies are going to do a restocking and roll out another batch of bikes. So if you can't find one, don't fret. I think there'll be more coming out very soon. But that's Colt. That's why it's my number 2 pick. Let me know if you agree or disagree. All right, guys. So for number uno, Kink. Now, Kink is probably my favorite brand. I did 2019, it was really popular. 2020 reviews were really popular. And I reached out to Kink and I said, hey, this is what I'm doing. Can I have a booklet so I can get these reviews out early to help out people who check out my content? And Jake sent over the booklet, some stickers. And ever since then, how quickly they responded to help me out just so I could help you guys out. I was like, all right, this is a solid brand. But it goes deeper than that because their bikes have the best quality to price ratio. In my reviews, if I feel like a bike is kind of a ripoff, I'm going to reference a Kink bike that's the same quality but like $100 cheaper. And I don't know your experience with Kink. Maybe it's just looks good on paper and they're not actually good. But from people that I've sent recommendations to and included a Kink, they've replied and told me how much they loved it. So let me know what you actually think and if they're actually any good. Now, the other thing aside from the amazing quality to price ratio is that there's lots of options. So if Colt had as many options as Kink, I'd say it'd be a really close tie right there. But since they don't, Kink's going to take the win because they have a beginner Kink launch. They have a high level Kink Williams and then everything in between. And it's really good to see that because getting the right bike, you guys know how important that is to me. The third thing is that most of their bikes do have aftermarket parts. So some of them are aftermarket mission parts, which aren't necessarily the best. They're like the lower end Kink brand. But then Kink does include their high-end parts on there. Like on some of the bikes, you'll see Kink Grizzly bars, which are $80 bars, and they just slap them onto a complete. So that's super cool because you're getting better quality out of it. All right, so there are no park or dirt specific bikes in Kink's line. Most of them are just going to be general with a couple of exceptions that do have a focus on street, like the Kink Switch, the Kink Cloud, and maybe the Kink Williams. But nothing is like built for dirt or built specifically for park with that small standover and the gyro brakes. But really, that's the only con I've got. If you guys have more cons, again, let me know. But this bike line, super solid. As a brand, their aftermarket parts, everything else, super solid. And that's why it's my number one pick. Now, if you guys are stuck shopping for a bike, I really hope this helped you out. And I hope you guys are able to make the right decision. If you're scared of wasting your money or picking the wrong bike, check out the links below. I have a link for a free bike recommendation. Fill out the form. I'll check out what level of riding you're at. And then I'll send you a PDF with 3 recommendations that I think are perfect for you. And with that being said, I'm always working on more videos. Like right now, I'm about to roll into the Sunday line. And so make sure you guys subscribe so you get updated when I post that new content.